the experience of the story of a Jedi and how someone comes to know what the Force is, especially when you look at the movies. So when we approached designing the Jedi Unlock process, what we wanted to do was make sure that there was a more unique experience for everyone and that it was much more difficult to just assume that, I could do X, Y, and Z and then immediately I would become a Jedi, right? Force sensitivity doesn't work that way, and we didn't want it to work that way in the game either.
Yeah, fair enough. I definitely. I mean, even to this day, it's like okay, you go to the village, you spend 16 weeks grinding out, and boom, you're a Padawan. You're a Padawan. I mean, I know that's extremely simplified, but yeah, you became glowy, old man, village, Jedi Padawan, done.
Right, and I mean, there is some really cool stuff in all of that. It just gets washed away because people really didn't like the grind or the more of the time gate. I think the village gets a bad rep for the time gating, which is not something that we particularly agree with. Just like an arbitrary, like you must wait 4 weeks in order to progress type thing. It's just like on rails and not very fun. But the village does have some really cool content in it. And then, uh, but the rest of the unlock is just very not exciting. So we definitely want a more exciting and unique experience per player.
Okay, all right. That sounds. I definitely can agree to that one. Because again, that kind of that fantasy of hey, this is your character. You're living in the galaxy of Star Wars, and you have your own path.
Right.
Found. All right. The next question I have was you previously stated that Force Ghosts will only be able to interact socially. Do you want to elaborate on that one?
Yeah. So Force Ghost is essentially like population control. So Jedi. There's a big problem in galaxies where when you start getting a server that's been up for an extended period of time, there's a bunch of Jedi because everybody wants to play Jedi, or at least most people want to play Jedi. And then as a result, with all these Jedi running around, it looks like some weird scene from the old
Later, that question's
Republic
coming up.
where PvP/PvE is just a bunch of lightsabers. Um, in order to combat that, we have a life system, which is a bit of a compromise from back in the pre-Pub 9 days where you had a life system, you died, and it just completely wiped your character. And then this one is more or less we're going to have Jedi lives. And then as you burn through them, once you've used your final one, you're going to go into a Force Ghost state, which is
Hmm?
that shader that y'all have all seen in the past where you turn nice glowy blue. And in that state, you are no longer able to particularly do anything on that character until the
Okay.
timer runs up. Your main features are just to pretty much like be able to walk around, interact with players. You can check on your house and your items and whatnot like that, and train other Jedi is one of the things that we have highlighted that is
Okay.
most likely going to make it into the game where they can uh, force ghosted Jedi will be able to train other Jedi
Oh.
during that time.
Okay. Okay. So kind of a thing of Qui Gon thing when and everything like
Right.
that. Okay. Okay.
And then the
Um.
Force Ghost does have a timer. There's a lot of variables that are like all the hard numbers we don't really have
Yeah.
for you right now, but the just generally speaking, your Force Ghost timer, how long you'll be in Force Ghost will depend on population, Jedi rank, population per like weighting, which is like we have the light side and the dark side Jedi. If there's a an imbalance, it might affect Force Ghost timers and stuff like that.
Okay, okay. I know I was just you're actually answering some questions I had a little bit later on down the list. I know this one I had is there was a thing about I pulled this one from the Jedi question that was ever answered, but it was like to add to the previous question I asked about that. That you would return to life in game how you were would be before, uh, quote. Are you able to elaborate on that one? Basically, I believe it was I can never remember how to say your name. Not
Aconite.
Aconite. I know you were talking about this one a long time ago, and about you come back how you were before after you became a Force Ghost.
Right. So it quite literally just means like, how you revive at the cloner. It's kind of the same idea of you're returning from your ghost state. There might be a little effect involved in that. But it's not, like permadeath or anything like that. It's just going from, when the queue hits, there will be a little bit of a process when you're online, and then you'll
Okay.
become a
Okay.
stateful live Jedi again. Of course, there's still the same death mechanics you can expect from dying, like decay. That's still normal death type mechanics are involved.
Okay.
And then you just become the ghost, and then you come back from being the ghost effectively.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you
Oh,
are. Oh, go on, Taylor.
and to elaborate a little bit more on that, when you are in Force Ghost, you are, you cannot do combat and you also cannot be attacked. I feel like we should probably clarify that. So, Force Ghosted
Okay.
Jedi are
Okay.
essentially just walking around
So they can
ghosts.
interact, maybe dance in the cantina, stuff like that.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So all you entertainers out there, you'll be able to sit there and dance as a Force Ghost.
And then I guess expanding on that all a little bit more, the uh, Jedi death. Uh, we have the ghost. There is a possibility of skill loss too, just so that you are not a constant maintained full template character. You may lose a couple of boxes, which was something that used to happen. You would lose maybe
Well,
a master box or something
well,
upon death. You
if I,
might still see
okay,
something like that. That's
okay.
a Like I said, that's a might.
Well, I
Um,
know
the
in the old days it used to be permadeath, so losing a box wouldn't be so bad.
Right, but we don't want it to be where the Jedi are just like death is still like dying on your Jedi is still going to cost you something. It's not like you just run out of lives and then you go on timeout. There is still cost of
Okay,
playing a Jedi, which is just part of the nature of the game because it is
okay. Uh, I'm
an alpha
gonna
class.
I'm gonna borrow a question from the chat just real quick. 'Cause it is on this one. Is that any death, PvP or PvE, or just PvP?
We'll
Any
have,
death.
Any
yeah,
death. Okay. It was just right there. The first one, it was one that came in. I looked at it and it was like, okay, this is literally just right on the topic. So okay, so any death. That okay. And now I know we're
right.
gonna now some of the
So
question. Go on.
that's something that people will have to consider going into PVE. Obviously, Jedi are super powerful and have a lot of utility in PVE, but there is a risk of death, which can, you know,
Okay.
cause you.
Oh yeah, fair. Yeah, fair enough. And I definitely because like I said, I just happened to see it. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good question to follow up right on that one. Uh, I guess now the questions I'm going to hit you with are some of the inciting incidents, and one of them is if you were to use Luke as an example, what would you think would be his inciting incident?
So I was actually very, very excited to see this question come up because I think it's a great example, and it's one we didn't use in the developer diary because we felt it was a little bit too complicated to explain in text.
Okay.
I think the go-to, right, if you were to think about what insights Luke's adventure into the Force, right? You can look at the beginning of episode 4 and you can say that maybe it's being attacked by the Tusken Raiders and being rescued by Ben Kenobi. You could say maybe it's picking up his father's lightsaber. There's a few moments in episode 4, but I would actually argue that it happens at the end. It's when he's told by the ghost of Ben Kenobi to use the Force, and firing to destroy the first Death Star. And the thing about it is that if you look at how our inciting incident system works, it follows that same path in that you don't instantly join the game and have an inciting incident and become a Jedi, right?
Okay.
There's story arc to your character, and there's things that happen as you experience the galaxy that lead up to an inciting incident that leads to your discovery of the Force, and that propels you forward in that Jedi storyline.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So you wouldn't just stumble across a rock and here's your Jedi. You're saying you almost
right.
you'd have to really seek this out.
It's not so much, I wouldn't categorize it as seeking as much as I would,
Okay.
we acknowledge that in the state of our storyline and where we exist in the timeline of the galaxy, there's just not as much, Jedi are a myth, right? They're mythological. They don't exist anymore. We don't see them. It's a rumor mill that they are present in the galaxy, and that
Right.
alone makes discovery of people who are force sensitive much more difficult. So for someone to discover that they are force sensitive, it's not happening as a child where their midichlorian count is being tested by Jedi who are searching the galaxy for force sensitives. So in that situation, and given that structural precedence to the timeline, there has to be some other way to discover that about yourself that's
Okay.
not just, some immediate action that, a click and now you're a Jedi.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of forming some question on that one because there's some people asking in chat as well, and again, if I see a question that's really on topic, I'll definitely sneak that in because I know it's sort of like
Go for it. Go
like
for it.
yeah, it's like like oh how do I don't want to make sure I don't unlock it on the wrong character like that. For me, like I made a character, my character is literally designed to become a Jedi. Period. I don't want to, unlock it on my other character. I want that thing. So it's like, okay, so it's going to be a thing of just. It's not going to be a thing where I'm not going to, or I'm going to be just running around and I'm going to get a Jedi and stuff like that. So that's definitely good because I know there's some people like who are very attached to their character in other ways and don't want to become Jedi and stuff like that. So it
Well, you're
does,
not going to be forced to become a Jedi if you
yeah,
don't want to be.
which is always good, and that's the cornerstone of Star Wars. Guys always has been is player choice. So, all right, let me. Now you said that Jedi. I know you guys are talking about Jedi Knights having the lives. Do Jedi Padawans have the same restriction?
Jedi Padawans do have a life system as well.
Okay.
And then I this is a probably a question that it will be asked, but in order to make sure people get to play how they want to play, like some people want to be a Jedi, but they don't want to PvP. Some people, want to play a Jedi and they do want to PvP. the the balance we have there is Padawans are not subjected to like the perma overt that a knight would be. So if you are a PvE player and you want to check out and you want to like play a Jedi and just do Jedi things, but you don't want to engage in PvP, then you would be a Padawan and you would essentially stay a Padawan.
Okay. And then do they also become a Force Ghost as well?
Yeah. So
Okay.
they do still have the same, restrictions on their lives and everything where if you die X amount of times, you're going to go ghost and you're going to have to, essentially put your Jedi in timeout.
A point of clarity I'll add to if for those that go back to our developer diary about the inciting incident, we are very deliberate when we use the word Jedi versus when we use the term Force sensitive because they are separate.
Okay.
So sometimes it requires just like remembering that when we say the word Jedi when referring to like a mechanic or a feature, that means someone that is a Jedi Padawan or higher. It doesn't mean, if we mean force sensitive, we will say force sensitive, which is a more all encompassing term to that unlock path to Jedi and including Jedi.
Okay, so there'd be people who would be force sensitive in the galaxy, and stuff like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah, because J.J. Abrams talked about how Finn he wanted to be force sensitive, but they never got around to saying he was. But
Right.
he wasn't a Jedi; he was force sensitive.
Right.
Okay,
And we do have intent for people to be able to uh, be force sensitive and have perks of being force sensitive without going the extra mile and becoming a Jedi.
okay. Let me see here. Let me just see here for that. And I know this one's a big one. I know this is talked about. I even dealt with this as a bounty hunter on live. In regards to life and death ratio, will there be any way to combat players hiding in their homes to escape from their final death, skewing the ratio numbers?
Yes. So
I know you want to talk about this one. Go ahead.
and we actually talked about this a little bit on Discord as well. I talked a little bit about it in the uh, Jedi Questions channel for anyone who wants to go read it. But there will be some mechanics whereby a group of players, think maybe a smuggler and a bounty hunter. It's intended to be a multi-person involvement, can hack or demolition their way into a structure to get after a Jedi they're hunting. So there will be a mechanic for that. We also, of course, have anti-AFK mechanics. So we are conscious of the fact that if Jedi are online, of course, we respect that they may want to stay hidden. They may not want to be out and about and subject to PvP. So we respect that mechanic and the give them the ability to do that and flexibility to do that. But we also don't want them, just idling online to either take away the opportunity for another player that's in the queue to come from being a Force Ghost back to a Jedi from logging in and getting to play. So that's pretty carefully balanced out. And the same goes for
I
making
crashed,
sure
guys. Give me one second. I
Jedi.
actually crashed. Sorry,
Oh
guys.
no.
Yeah, I crashed. Don't. They're good. If you keep talking and like that, I just crashed.
Sure, sure. So, but yeah, in summation, yes, there will be a mechanic for just like you said to deal with and address that on live for uh, bounty hunters and maybe smugglers and maybe some other professions as well to get involved in the hunt and draw the Jedi out. One thing I'll tease that we just started talking about today is the idea of, not that this is happening, but we like to tease these ideas and see how the community reacts. One of them is the idea of some sort of city
I'm back.
specialization as a sanctuary city to let Jedi hide in and have some better resistance to visibility triggers, and better protection for them to
Yeah, I tried to open up the thing.
maybe an enclave type city. So we're currently exploring that, and I'm just teasing it out because I will look forward to reading the chat and seeing what players think about that idea.
So what? So making an enclave or a protected city where Jedi can be free to be a Jedi, correct?
They would have more liberties, but yes,
Okay.
adding city specializations is
Okay.
definitely something we're
Okay.
looking at.
Yeah, I crashed. I had to reset my client.
I do
Apparently I
do
tried to open the skill tree when I unlocked Jedi, and that didn't work.
Yeah, don't do that. It's the new client. And to expand
Yeah.
on that a little bit more, it is important to note that while I said you don't have to PvP if you're a Padawan, Padawans are still subjected to visibility. So, if you are out being a Jedi in
Yeah.
public as a Padawan, you will still get vis and you will still get bounty hunted.
Yeah. What I forget what they called it back in the day. Used to what the Wow, my brain just completely messed up there. I don't remember what it's called, but I know it was a visibility center and everything like that. But yeah, it's yeah, it was yeah. You'd go overt if they saw you, uh, and everyone. Now does that? I'm pretty sure that includes NPCs as well, correct?
Right. So
Okay,
it's like if you are running around as a Padawan and you're killing stuff on a planet with your lightsaber and an NPC is nearby, the NPC essentially
thank you,
reports that
TEF. Yep,
back to whomever, and then the bounty gets placed.
yep, TEF. Chat helped me on that one because I completely forgot what it was. And that's just my old brain sitting there and just messing up. It's like this 20 years ago knowledge at this point. Okay, all right. So let me sit there and it, this was I love this question I put, but and we already answered it. I said and said if I'm a bounty hunter, well, I need to call 1-800 Jedi out to get a Jedi out of a private structure. But you guys already answered that one, so we can move on from that one. Uh, Now I know you talked about the AFK mechanic about this. Uh, when Jedi log out, will their character still be there?
Yes. So we talked about this a little bit in the Jedi questions area of our Discord as well. So just to clarify, right, the same like link disconnect LD that shows above your head is the
Okay.
same way it'll work for Jedi. We of course will have some uh logic in place such that like a Jedi that's logging out and like is off for the day can't be effectively ambushed and just killed while they're not even online, while also
Okay.
balancing that with the abuse potential of Jedi logging in and logging out just to avoid getting attacked. So that's a double-edged sword.
Mm.
But yes, so it will still function just as it would for any other character with respect to whether they disappear or not when logging in and logging out.
Okay, yeah, because I remember I played a bounty hunter and everything like that. It was so frustrating when you'd be like, okay, get your target, you're going house, and it'd just be like, okay, well, this is boring. Drop because you spend like 15 minutes tracking a Jedi or tracking somebody, and they well more somebody like that. But it's like then you get to their house and just be like, well, crap, this sucks. So I'm glad you guys are considering that too. So that definitely will help the bounty hunters out there. I know they're practically salivating at that news because I was one of them. Uh, um, and then I know because you guys we answered some of these questions before. So I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Explain TEF and PEF for new players that never dealt with that system.
So TEF is TEF stands for temporary enemy flag. It just represents a relationship between a player and one or more players that make them attackable in PvP. So, for example, the easiest one is when you place a bounty on another player that creates a temporary enemy flag, right? That expires when the bounty is complete. So that's a temporary enemy flag. PEF is permanent enemy flag, and that's what happens when you become a Jedi Knight in the game. So up until you are, up until Jedi Padawan, you're just subject to temporary flagging from visibility or bounties. When you elect to become a Jedi Knight, you switch into PEF, which is permanent enemy flagging, which means that you are permanently flagged as an enemy to the opposite faction at all times.
Okay. Yeah, I like this is mostly for the people who never delve it because again, I think they got rid of TEF and PEF. I think that's what I'm gonna call that. I'm gonna call the other one. What was it? Way early in Star Wars Galaxy's life cycle. I think it actually went away in the combat upgrade, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, my pre CU knowledge is a little fuzzy. I know the holocron and a little bit of things, but I know a little bit about that stuff. But yeah. Um. Oh yes, yes. Are we going to Red Dead Redemption Jedi visibility? If you
What does
know
that mean?
what that means, is basically you have to murder everybody around you because you happen to see you're a Jedi. Basically, because in Red Dead Redemption, if you committed a murder, some random dude would see you commit murder. You got to kill him. The other person would see you kill that guy, and so you'd basically end up slaughtering an entire town, so you didn't get flagged.
No, that's not how it works.
Okay,
It's think of it more as if you pull out your lightsaber, somebody is going to get on a holocom and be like, "Hey, I saw a Jedi."
okay. Yeah, because I think that basically it was a thing of, is there any way for a Jedi to really defend themselves against, they want to go out and grind, and or whatever they need to do. If it is grinding is involved to gain skills, you know, is there any way to defend against the TEF?
They're going to want to like essentially grind in groups of same faction friends
Okay,
and be cautious as to where they're grinding to avoid getting visibility because it's not impossible to grind without getting vis.
okay,
It's just you have to be careful. Like for example, on Dantooine, there's sometimes random faction NPCs that spawn. If you're grinding and you see a random faction NPC nearby and it's the opposite faction of you, you're gonna get visibility.
okay. So basically, don't sit there and try to grind as a rebel in the Imperial base on Dantooine.
Correct. That would get you a metric ton of
Yeah,
visibility.
yeah.
And
Okay, so that makes sense.
I think dead men tell no tales, but creatures can't talk is a
Exactly. Yeah.
good way to put that.
Fair
Correct.
enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Kill the Womp Rats, not the stormtroopers walking around Mos Eisley. No, don't be walking around Mos Eisley with your lightsaber anyway. But yes.
Right.
Um. Now, how much of the population would you guys feel comfortable? I know you guys have the numbers of this, but how many? What's the population uh, becoming Jedi? Basically, how much percentage of the population would you guys feel comfortable becoming Jedi?
I bet at least
Oh,
half will be Jedi.
yeah, and I think that like
Okay.
with respect to whether or not this is like the online limits, that's going to be a ratio that adjusts over time as we kind of see how um, the population
Mm-hmm.
is fluctuating, both in terms of how many Jedi are online at one time, how many are exist in the galaxy as a whole, how that starts to be reflected in player sentiment. We'll monitor metrics like
Okay.
how much visibility is triggered. We can see that over time and in near real time, so we can visualize how Jedi are, how many there are, what they're doing, and can kind of we expect it to change over time really, but
Okay.
ultimately when 1.0 comes out on September 3, we'll just have to see.
Okay. So did I just happen to hear that the announce of the release date for that one?
Yeah, you did just happen to hear the announce date. The release of 1.0 will be on September 3.
All right, there you guys go. It'll be September 3rd. So that sounds great. Definitely going to be looking towards September 3rd. I know that question kind of been would have been that the how many people you want to become a Jedi. Uh, I know you have the metrics and everything like that about it. I think it was also because I know you're talking about in the inciting incidents and the thing that you didn't want everyone to be Jedi, and then you were talking about the 5,000 people, 5,000 inciting incidents or something like that for one player. Like one player would if one player would have one inciting incident, it'd be like 5,000 uh, something. Like the other player might not have that. Like it'd be very rare for each two players have the same inciting incident.
Right. So the way to kind of think about it, and this is an expansion we didn't provide in the developer diary, is there's like three main mechanics to an inciting incident. There, which we are effectively like time, manner, and place. So if you consider the incident being
Mm-hmm.
an action like discovering something, almost dying, there's two examples I'll give. Then there's maybe a time component to that that's not necessarily literal time, but time in the sense of uh, what we call like the global look at the galaxy's time. So
Okay.
an example might be a region's factional control might be a factor.
Okay.
And then the third mechanic of place might be like literally a planet like Tatooine.
Yes.
So there's
Something like that.
effectively
Yes.
three main variables that an inciting incident is constructed with, and the number of possibilities that creates are a pretty high magnitude of possibilities.
Okay.
And those are randomized and set at the character level.
Mm-hmm.
And they also can change over time. So, given those two factors, it does make it pretty hard to predict, and make sure that inciting incident moments are pretty unique for each player.
Okay.
And no matter what, like the answer to how do I have my inciting incident is you just have to play the game.
Do you want to expand on the death one since you just spoiled it because it is pretty cool?
So sure, I'll talk about the death
Okay.
one because it's one of 50 plus.
Yeah, it's
So
very visual, so it's very cool. Let's describe it.
yeah,
Okay.
so we've talked about there's different ways in the examples we gave in the developer diary of Ray picking up the lightsaber, which you might equate to finding
Rare item.
finding a collection item, right? And Grogu with the mud horn, which you might equate to like a group member being in danger. The death one specifically is one of the inciting incidents. So this is a clue to one part of the three is your character being about to die. Like, and we do mean like after the process, like the death blow has been struck on your character, is one of the inciting incidents that can happen. And you can, if you hit all of the right circumstances, it will full heal you and you'll summon the power of the force to re engage in combat. And that acts as your inciting incident.
Okay. I'm gonna another chat literally talking about the inciting incident. Just literally, good question about that one. Will the players be able to see or notice your inciting incident?
Right. So like he was saying with the on death one, it's very visual. You would
Mm-hmm.
literally die and then like a force heal effect will play and heal you and
Okay.
bring you back to life. So you're going to see that something has happened and it is a one-time thing deal. So it's not like people can go and continuously have inciting incidents that
Yeah.
may benefit them in some sort of way, but there
You,
is
you
you might even run into a super random but unique situation where there's people PvPing and somebody dies and just one person becomes a Jedi. That's like one in
He,
a million,
he,
chance,
he,
but it
he,
would be
he
really cool thing to see. So the whole
okay.
system is very visual and exciting.
So you died, but you got better. This is what I'm
Yeah.
Yes.
hearing.
Yeah, and to answer another question I saw pop up in chat, none of the inciting incidents rely on retroactive events. So none of them are, for example, like having collected a specific badge.
Okay.
So if you had already done that, for example, then you would have an issue where, well, now I can't have my inciting incident because, I already collected the badge. The inciting incident
Yeah.
relies on a real time event happening in the game.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But because you realize you're gonna set you have a lot of people mad maxing it, witness me charging at the random enemy that'll kill them, right? To try to get.
Yes, I and that's why we picked the one to reveal and talk about
No, jeez.
was the on about to die one, because we knew that's probably the least desirable circumstance of the
Wow.
events for players to be in.
Oh, jeez. Hopefully it doesn't trigger in space. That would be kind of awkward. Oh, well, I don't have my ship, but I'm alive.
There are some that can trigger in space, yes.
Okay.
There
Well,
are some that can trigger with crafting. There are some that can trigger with entertaining. It is a universal system for
yes, I
all
will.
professions.
Right.
Okay.
And that's, yeah, because we do want crafters to be able to, have access to more content. So
Okay.
force sensitive crafting type
Okay.
thing is
Yeah,
still
that.
going to be.
But I will clarify, being a crafter does not guarantee that you will have a crafting inciting incident. So your inciting incident is decided well before your skill tree is picked, so that does
Yeah.
not influence what your inciting incident will be.
Okay. And I'm just going to ask real quick. I'm pretty sure the answer will be yes, you guys. This is kind of skipping over everything, not even part of the question. And I'm assuming you, the devs, could see the other characters inside the instance. What will trigger it, or is that
So
something that you guys don't have access to?
So, yes and no. We there will be a select number of developers who can.
Okay.
However, we have made sure that how the data is stored is obfuscated in a way that even our support team would not be able to just explain to a player what their inciting incident was
Okay.
or how to use it.
Okay.
So there's a very select few number of people who would be able to look up, interpret, and access that data.
All right, fair enough. Well, again, you don't want to have some inside person. Oh, here you go. Let's do this. This you'll be in the Jedi. That makes sense, and that's
Right. It's
okay.
only like senior staff will have that information.
All right, that's okay. That sounds pretty cool. Let me see here. Let me see here. Okay. I know some people have been asking about this one a lot. When you unlock Jedi, will you be getting another character slot?
Yes.
So you can have up to four then.
Correct. That's
Okay.
been. That's not. Honestly, that's something that we have previously announced, but to refresh, yes.
Yeah.
We do have the additional character slot after you unlock Jedi.
Okay. So there's that one. Give me a sec here. One of the devs mentioned in Discord that you track all kills. What are some of the other metrics and statistics you track for the players?
So we have pretty much everything a player does is logged, from the commands you use to the things you kill to the things you loot. When you pick an item up, when you put an item down, when you use an item, it's pretty much all logged. And we
Okay.
have a pretty great visualization system. It's called the Elastic Stack, where we can visualize in pretty near real time what players are doing and
Okay.
what's happening. A great example is like our economic snapshotting tools, so we can see and visualize money coming in and out of the game economy, where it's being spent and what on,
Mm-hmm.
how much sink and tap ratio there is, and we also have a tool we developed that we call Snapshot that takes
Okay.
a look on a weekly basis at the price of common items in the game, and so we can see over time as a proxy metric for inflation in the game how pricing is fluctuating for
Okay.
common items like a swoop deed or like a small Tatooine house. So we have a lot of really robust data, and we're a very data-driven team.
Okay.
Much to the test of some members of our team too, because they know the first thing I'll say when they come up with an idea is show me the data. Yes, we are a very data-driven team and love to examine data.
Okay. All right. I do believe those are pretty much most of my questions. As I know, I sent them to you and all like that. I know some of them were vetoed. I do believe that's most of the questions though I had. So if you want to, I guess, open up to the chat. So I know they've been chomping at the bit here. I'm literally sitting there seeing questions fly by my screen. So if you guys have a little bit of time to answer some, I guess, general questions at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take some questions from the crowd.
Okay. So all right, guys, let her rip. Rip my chat. Oh my God! Okay. uh, and there are no DJ guys asking. Is there any way you can ensure you don't unlock Jedi on the wrong character?
No, there. Sorry,
Okay.
that sounded a little blunt, but no,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's not. You can have an inciting incident on one or all three of your characters. What you choose to do with that, whether you choose to become a Jedi from that is your prerogative.
Okay. So yeah, basically, you sit there and there's no way you just sit there and say, "Please don't let me unlock Jedi." So cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just don't have to take any action upon it if it happens.
Now.
And the I know the other common like component of that question is like, well, what if I wanted to unlock on this character? Well, then okay, go unlock on that character.
Okay.
Each character's inciting incident is unique. It's not an account level trigger. It's a um, character level uh, randomization.
Okay. This is pretty much an answer before. I'm just gonna kill this one real quick. If you're not a crafter, but your settings is a crafting thing, go craft.
Yeah, go craft.
Yeah,
You won't know.
yeah,
But yes, that is the answer. There's,
yeah.
just like many heroes in the Star Wars
Go
universe
craft,
are
guys.
forced to embark upon journeys they never wanted to. A player might as well if they want to explore the Force and unlock Jedi.
Well, yeah, it's like I don't think Luke, Leia, and Han wanted to be in the garbage chute, but there they were.
There they were.
Yep. So be garbage men, guys. Let's see here. What do we got here? Uh, da, da, da. How do you feel about current Jedi balance? Force meditation felt really slow for Force regen, and Jedi Palace felt underwhelming. Really?
Um,
They felt
that's
underwhelming?
more of an opinion, and also
Yeah.
the Jedi is not released yet. I'd like to add that's test server.
Well,
So
let me sit there. Yeah. Are you guys going to be doing any? I'm going to ask this question myself because that would be interesting about the thing. Any other visual? Are we getting any other visuals for the Jedi other than what was already in the game?
what do you mean? New animations
Any
or
new
something?
animations like that? Yeah.
We are
Yeah, there are some.
Okay.
Yes, some other mechanics and systems will have some new visuals as well that we are not ready to share more about just
but
yet.
you're
That's
not going to get like a new lightsaber swinging animation or anything
okay.
like that.
Yeah. That
That's
okay. Let's see here. Oh, I know people were asking about the holster thing, but I'll hold on for that one. I'm pretty sure you'll answer that one when you want to. Probably on Discord for that one because I know that's been a question people have been asking for a while.
Maybe is the answer. Create a thread in our player voice system.
Yeah, because I know people have been talking about that one for a while. Um, I don't know if you want to answer that one about the classic Jedi stuff. If that's gonna, I
Sure.
don't.
So there are no prerequisites to having an inciting incident. There are other parts of the Jedi unlock that may require prerequisites in the galaxy. That's not specific to mastering professions or visiting specific POIs, though.
Okay, so you don't gotta do the glowy road per se anymore.
No, so the second you and the way we've explained this before, with regards to the multiple phases unlocked, the second you touch down in the galaxy, you can have your inciting incident. It's possible to, but later
Hmm,
phases require more development of your character.
okay.
So the general idea is players who are playing now and are who are completing collections or, experiencing different parts of the game and the content are basically building muscle so that when they get into the boxing arena of becoming a Jedi, they are stronger. But both
Yeah.
opponents who enter, whether it's a new player or an experienced one, are starting the match at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because again, as you said, when you touch down in the galaxy, you can have your inciting incident. Like, oh, okay, but it's like you have to. I'm randomly pulling a thing here. You have to kill. To advance as a Jedi, you might have to kill 10 Dark Jedi's on Dantooine, and not a new player won't be able to do that. I'm just pulling that one randomly out of the thing, where you might have to do certain notes to, I said, get your character's muscle up. Is that kind of what I was? What is that correct, or is that I kind of lose you on that one?
No, no, you're right on track.
Okay.
I'm just refraining to enumerate more specific examples.
Oh, okay. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, if you any anytime I would ask a thing or somebody would ask a question, just say, "Hey, can't answer that right now." That's perfectly fine, which I understand. There was even a question I have on one of my lists. You said you nix anyway, so on my original, it's like 16 or 17 I sent you, so I understand that one. Yeah, no, no, yeah, no ETAs. um,
No, no ETAs, but
yeah, exactly.
we have given a date for our 1.0 now. We were
Yeah,
excited to
yeah,
share that for the first time on this stream.
yeah. You didn't want to get people drunk and everything like that, as you said before everything happened.
Ah, yes, that was the shots game of take a shot every time we say no ETA.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think people are surprisingly still sober.
yeah, yeah. Well, they had finally got their drink, you know. Um, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not gonna answer that. It's just one. There's one question. I can't. I know you're not gonna answer that one at all. The Jedi Knight trials. I'm just gonna take note of that one. Um,
Yeah, so we are with regards to like later parts of the unlock and the Jedi journey, the reason we're not disclosing it is because we want it to be a surprise and a new experience for players.
yeah,
Um, it's not that we're just being secretive for the sake of being secretive. We do want
yeah,
people to really experience the journey of unlock and the
yeah,
experience
yeah,
of being a Jedi that we've designed here
yeah.
in real time when
Yeah.
it's released.
Yeah, give me just a second. I'll actually address some of these things. Basically, they're only told us they're only gonna let us ask questions about the very first part, the inciting incident. They won't
And
go on.
to answer that question about the inciting incident for a combat character, in fact, be something crafting or vice versa, yes. Um,
Yeah.
and it's the inciting incident
Hmm.
doesn't care what your skill tree is. It's decided when your character is created or
Well, the
when the
game.
system is
Well, the
released.
game wouldn't know what you want to be. So it's like you make a character. Okay, the game says, oh, it's a crafting one. Who know the game doesn't know if you're going to be a crafting focused guy or you're going to be an entertainer or you're going to be a space pilot. You never touch the ground. It doesn't know.
And
S
keep in mind there's three characters too, right?
yeah.
Three character slots, each
Hmm.
with their own inciting incident. So ultimately, if the goal is just to have one become a Jedi, there will be three different ways to do it.
Okay. One second. Let me answer that one question. Ghosts are only for Padawans and Jedi Knights, not Force sensitives.
And the trigger has not been determined, so like just technically it will be the roll to determine what your trigger is will happen when 1.0 is released. So it's not like just already sitting on your character and decided or anything.
Okay. Um.
I do want. I know some other people wanted to hear about this too. Halo, do you want to talk a little bit about the Commando and Ranger revamps planned for 1.1?
Oh, great. Here goes my chat. Go ahead, Halo. All right, all you commandos and their guys, listen up. Did Halo fall asleep?
One
He,
second.
No, okay.
he might not have been expecting to be called on.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, as soon as Halo gets back or Halo wakes
I'll
up,
I'll
or
answer another question in the meantime.
sure.
Um, with regards to Inquisitors and potentially Darth Vader coming after Jedi who stay around too long. What could trigger these NPCs coming after you? So there's a few factors that come into play. So for example, some of
Yeah,
it
you
is
did.
is like purely logical. Like you might think if I go into a city that has a factional control of 100% Imperial, the response to my presence as a Jedi might be more swift and strong than that of maybe a less controlled or disputed region. Um, Same thing with planetary control. So certainly the factional control system, both at the planet and the regional level, will have influence into that, as well as some of the environmental factors.
Okay.
Like there's just some cities that have more weighting than less. And there's also it depends on like the NPC. Like I would say, you know, going to the Emperor's Retreat would be a pretty bad idea as a Jedi versus, you know, maybe just
Yeah.
risking it in Mos Eisley and seeing what the
Yeah.
factional
Or,
control is
or, or
like.
like running around. I can't remember the city's name on Tatooine. Like is Bestine or something like that. Or
Right, right.
as a Jedi would be bad, but Anchorhead on the other hand might not be so bad.
Okay. I've uh, it's past my time limit. What was that previous question you had for
The
me?
the
We would just love to hear some preview of what the Ranger and Commando revamp in 1.1 might look like.
I believe the Commando revamp got moved already and is released, so I'm not sure
really.
what anybody's looking for on Commando. Commando is pretty well done. But
Okay.
Ranger,
Oh boy.
we're looking at having stealth. So you're gonna be able to stealth and like essentially sneak around. It's kind of like a complementary profession, kind of like a squad leader or
Hmm.
creature handler. It doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of combat abilities, but you're gonna have some traps and stealth and like poisons and like dots essentially. So kind of like a hybrid between uh,
So what you're
the.
saying would be like it would be probably good with say like a rifleman, shall we say?
No, it's gonna be it's gonna be set up so that it works well with both melee and range. So you could be a
Okay.
ranger pikeman or you could be a ranger rifleman, however you
Okay.
see fit.
Okay. Well, for that, hey, if you need to go, that's perfectly fine. Are you gonna stay Are you gonna stay or I can't my
I'm
in,
happy to hang out and answer a few more
yep.
questions.
Okay. So yeah, we can sit there and take a few questions from you, and maybe what about five more? You'd say?
Sure,
All right.
sure.
All right.
Is
Let's
there
do.
any parting questions for me before I leave?
Um. Yeah. I don't know of any other. All right, let's do like one or two quick questions for Halo before asking. Just quick ones, not like in depth. Like, oh, how many lines of code do you like program a day or something like that.
Somebody in chat is asking about a squad leader revamp. There's not really anything on the radar. That just bug fixes on squad leader are a big to do.
Okay,
And I also saw somebody ask about being force ghosted after the inciting incident. That's not a thing. You have to become a full
Padawan.
on
Yeah.
Jedi Padawan before you can go ghost.
Um, I know this guy's been asking about the cybernetics and like that. I don't know what that's all
What
about.
about
On
Inciting?
yeah, I don't know that much about cybernetics myself. Otherwise, I'd ask about it.
Uh,
So
that's a good question. The Jedi versus bounty hunter thing. Jedi essentially need to. There will be mechanics to heal your visibility, so you're not constantly under
Okay.
siege. Essentially,
Okay, and they're asking. Apparently, appearances don't work for cybernetics right now. I think
okay.
that's
Well,
breaking it down.
yeah, that's a known bug that
Okay.
we'll be working on at some point. No
Okay.
ETAs. Take your shot. I said it.
There we
bounty
go.
hunters get loads of credit for killing Jedi plus the reputation.
Okay. Um.
There are phases for unlock. You cannot go, for example, from the inciting incident to the village. There's a series of content quests, etc., that guide you through your unlock journey.
Okay. So,
All right. Well, I need to take off now.
all right. Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me on the
No,
chat.
no problem. Thank you very
And
much, Ayla. I really appreciate it. So,
yeah,
sorry for
absolutely.
the tech issues that we all had at first, but it worked out. We got some good questions answered, and yeah, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for taking the time to set up this interview, and
No problem.
we'll talk to you next time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Take care.
Yep. All right.
With regards to hints towards your inciting incident,
Ooh, that's a good question.
no, there are no hints planned at this time. Um,
What?
will combat states or stats get updated slash fixed? That is a
One thing
loaded and wide question.
One thing I will sit there and ask of you, it's not
Sure.
hints, but will you have not to say a tutorial, but maybe a thing that says what an inciting incident might be in the game? Not like
Yes.
not an exam. Okay, so basically a way so a new player would be able to say, oh, well, this could happen to my character.
Right. So
Okay.
there will be the check force command that people know from the pre-CU.
Yes.
Will have new functionality. It'll actually be like a whole window that shows the different phases and how you progress and describes each part of the journey.
Okay.
But there won't be so later on in Unlock where there are some more specific like actionable steps. There will be in the check force window, there will be some ways to see your specific progress.
Okay.
Whereas inciting incident just has to happen, so it just, there's no way to see like what my progress is towards it. You just have to experience it.
Okay.
So there are some differences there. One caveat I'll notice that the check force command will only update on a weekly basis. So the
Okay.
reason for that is because we want to prevent people from like doing every little thing and then running the command to see if that every little action made influence over what they were going for to get the Jedi unlock. So it will only refresh once a week. But yes, there will be um, a way to check your status and see what
Okay.
the phases are. That's a new player friendly mechanism.
Okay. I know that we had the tech issue before, and I know you announced it and everything like that, but Mustafar is coming in 1.0 as well, correct?
Yes, yes. So everything on the roadmap on our website with 1.0 is still staged to come with 1.0.
Yeah.
And we have a good amount of bug fixes and some other things coming in between.
Okay.
Another thing I'll preview, our June game update, which will be in late June, which will also turn on the Empire Day and Remembrance Day server events. Will also include the activation of city invasions, so GCW city invasions,
Okay.
which are a NGE feature, will be on with the June update.
Okay. And yeah, the reason why, and this is gonna be for mostly for chat, but the most reason why I decided to ask about Mustafar is I was supposed to go on Mustafar with these guys with them, and they were gonna kind of show us around, but Mustafar didn't want to behave itself, shall we say?
Yeah, it's
It
actually the test server itself. So in December we moved our live box over to different infrastructure.
mm,
The test center has not moved over, so it's relatively unstable still. Um,
yeah.
and so we will be doing that soon.
Yeah, because I tried to open up the character skills and went no, and just made me crash. And Mustafar I didn't want to try, and it was crashing for you guys. And it's like, yes, that's actually the reason why we had like the 10-15 minute delay because Mustafar just would not cooperate, and the server wouldn't work for us. So,
Yeah, the skills window actually is it's crashing because it's not designed to show the Jedi boxes yet.
hmm
With our recent hotfix, we just finished revamping it to be fully aligned to that CU style skills window,
hmm
and it's just actually not even programmed to handle Jedi skills yet, which is why it was crashing.
okay,
And to answer that question, yes, token vendors uh, will be available with invasion specific items. We're still not doing like the full like officer perk activation. So it's more the content we're adding in so that there's more GCW content available on this server for now that kind of helps incentivize PvP and the
okay.
invasion mechanic, which influences regional control.
Okay, and yeah, it's saying it's talking about using their lightsabers outside the cantina. That would probably be a bad thing because I'm pretty sure you have that many Jedi's, you might get Darth Vader walking around.
Yes, and
Uh,
it is a possibility. Darth Vader may very well come for you. He is level 500. Good luck.
oh, damn. That's yeah, okay, that definitely it's gonna suck. Uh,
There will be exclusives for the Empire Day and Remembrance Day events. So just like with our other holiday events like the Festival of Love and the Moon Festival and Life Day, there will be activities to complete and rewards. Darth Vader comes to visit or Princess Leia comes to visit,
okay,
respectively. So there's badges, there's exclusive rewards that will be
hmm
available this year only, as well as some general holiday awards that will be available seasonally,
okay, okay.
and lots of fireworks.
Yeah. I think when the Life Day, there was so much snow for like 2 months. It was like, okay, it's time to. uh, okay, I do believe that's pretty much most of the questions. I'm not seeing any more pop up at the moment. Yeah, think two more questions and that's it. If there's no other questions, we can sit and wrap up.
Sure, I'll take this question about the robes. So we're
Ooh, yeah, the
still
robes. Yeah.
working on what this will look like. But yes, it's probably not going to come with 1.0 because frankly, just like even at the release of 1.0, getting to the point of where you're like a Jedi master and want like a permanent custom robe for your character will be months away. So we haven't really targeted it at the release date of 1.0, but we are
Okay.
working on some ways for Jedi to kind of have layers to their robe that they can like custom craft and add or remove layers and dye kits for robes
Okay.
as well. So we're working on a more expansive, because Jedi do kind of get boxed into like robe or cloak, pick one.
Yeah.
So we are definitely conscious of and working on some ways to
Well, I thought they
um,
used inherent armor like TKMs do.
right, right. So we want to make sure there's some more customization
Okay.
options for Jedi in the future. So that will come. And to answer the question about bases stop taking lots, uh, no ETA. It will eventually.
Another shot.
Yeah,
Uh,
just I really only it's actually pretty soon, but I only said that so everyone had to take a shot.
yeah, yeah, and then of course, I'm assuming we every character when 1.0 hits will generate an inciting incident.
Yep. So when the 1.0 update comes out, all of the characters when they log in will get a pop-up about um the inciting incident of being available. So it's like an in-game update note to use like the check force command.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when their character's inciting incident will be assigned
Okay.
through it's just random generation what events are assigned
Okay.
um, and then they'll be able to go from there towards unlock.
Okay. And then yeah, if you were unlucky, it could take you forever. Honestly, I mean, it could take. Pretty sure it could take you a very long time if you were very unlucky. If about your inciting incident.
Right, right. It is. I think it's like it's possible for characters to play for a year or more and never trigger unlock. It's also possible for players to log in on day one and trigger their unlock. So there really is a lot of dynamics in it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say too, right, that that does sound somewhat discouraging to people who really want to play Jedi. We are going to watch it over time, and we can make adjustments once 1.0 comes to fruition and if we see that like wow it's been 6 months and nobody's unlocked Jedi we will
Yes. Yes.
pay attention to that and monitor the data and make changes if necessary if we don't feel like the expected ratio of unlocks taking place are in line with how it
Yeah.
was designed.
And yeah, and I'm assuming again, I'm pretty sure you guys have designed it so that you don't want this. You maybe spend maybe 6 months crafting. Up there's your inciting incident. If it is a crafting incident, it's not. I'm gonna say not gonna be quick, but it's not gonna be a thing where if it is a crafting one, it's gonna take you 6 months to do.
Right, it shouldn't. There's not chance involved if you're doing the right thing at the right time. So it's not also like, like loot where it's random and you're just
Mm-hmm.
trying to like get the loot item and you're just rolling and rolling and rolling. You
Yeah.
just have to find that right place, right time,
Mm-hmm.
manner, place, and then once you've done that, you'll trigger the event.
Okay. Well, I do believe that that's pretty much for all the questions I've seen most of the in chat. So yeah, I guess we can wrap it up here. I'll sit there and I'm gonna turn around and I will say that there will be a VOD of this. I don't know if you can hear me on Twitch or not, as well as I'm just having the key that you for you as well. Uh, but this will be a VOD. I will upload this entire interview on my YouTube channel. I will, and then any clips you guys wanted to make, go ahead and make clips, and then hopefully we can get a kind of a transcript of what was talked about, or if you guys want to do like a little bit of a write up to see what was talked about, or I'm pretty sure you guys do at least an announcement about the September 3rd, right?
Eventually, this is kind of our soft announcement.
Okay, okay,
I'll definitely say make sure you keep asking questions in the Jedi questions channel on Discord. We are going to post a developer diary probably next week. We've pulled a lot of those questions, so we're going to post a developer diary soon with some more in-depth answers to some of those questions that have been popping
okay,
up in there as well.
okay. Yeah, I definitely look forward to reading it, everything like that. So, yeah, with that, I'm gonna wrap up the interview. I'll sit there. I'll say goodbye to the chat, hang around, see if they want to chat for a little bit, and then yeah, we can wrap it up. I'm gonna stop. I also been recording this entire interview so that in case something happens with the YouTube upload or something happens there, that I can turn around and make sure I can upload it again and edit and everything like that. So yeah, well, thank you you guys very much for the interviews and questions. It's been an incredible experience. This is actually the first time I did a dev interview, so hopefully everything worked out on my end. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. So yeah, if you need to go, go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna take off. Thanks so much for
No
having
problem.
me. I've always wanted to say this: like and subscribe. I don't know if that's right for Twitch, but I thought I'd throw it out there.
Follow. Yes, they can subscribe. They can donate to the channel as well, so they can do all that wonderful stuff. Yeah, I don't get the thumbs. I don't get the thumbs up and everything like that. I get the follows and I get the any type of subscriptions or stuff like that. So yeah,
All
unfortunately,
right. Well, thank you so much for having me, and thanks everyone for being a part of the
no
community.
problem. Yep. Yeah. Really, really great to have you. So yeah.